We want to get into the remainder of our power rankings. I'm not sure if you've been following this, Anthony, but the totally correct power rankings, we've been from 33 right the way through to 1. We've been going through them over the past couple of days. We're going to get into the top 8 this morning, and we'll start with, we'll recap what we've already done. So from New York in at 33. At 32 is London, 31 Limerick, Antrim, Wexford, Wicklow, Waterford, Sligo, then Leitrim in descending order. And our second edition, we gave Offaly the number 24 spot, then Derry at 23, number 22 is Louth, Carlow at 21, number 20 is Longford, then we have Down at number 19, Tip at 18 and Cork at 17. And then yesterday we brought you these, the top 16. Westmeath coming in at number 16, Clare at 15, Laois at 14, Armagh at 13, number 12 was Kildare, Cavan at 11. The controversial pick yesterday was Fermanagh at number 10, and Meath coming in ahead of them at number 9. Now it's time to bring you the top 8. I know you've been waiting for this, everybody at home, for so long to see who these are, the drum roll. In at number 8 we have... This is Roscommon. I kind of forgot my own rankings here. We've got Roscommon here at number 8. Presumably they kind of nipped ahead of a couple of the other teams there, given Division 1 experience this year, granted. They went back down and all that, but kind of an encouraging couple of years for Roscommon. 2 years ago was obviously their highest point under Max Day. It's going to be very, very interesting. They're playing this weekend, actually. Very interesting couple of months under Anthony Cunningham. At number 7, we have Donegal. Donegal, like we were discussing this last week about whether or not they're the best team in Ulster, like that argument can be made despite Tyrone's strong league campaign. You'd expect big things from them. Paddy McBrearty being fit for the entire summer is the biggest thing for them. At 6,
I'd have them higher.
You'd have them higher. We'll come back to that in a sec.
That's all right.
At 6 we have Monaghan at number 6, and we'll rattle through the rest of these because I want you to get stuck into them. And then number 5 we have Galway. At number 4 we have Tyrone. At number 3 then, I'm pretty sure it's Kerry. Yes, it is. And at number 2, we've got Mayo. And, of course, number 1, the Dubs. So let's recap the top 8 there. Anthony, what's your biggest issue? Donegal, is it?
Yeah, I would put Donegal up a little bit higher. I'd switch them with... I'd stick them in ahead of Galway. I'd put them in at 5, and I'd put Galway at 6, and I'd put Monaghan at 7.
Are Donegal, like I know you're saying that Donegal just behind Tyrone there, then in your version of this, like can you make the argument that Donegal are the best team in Ulster?
I think you can. Yeah, I think you can. I was mightily impressed with them in the league final against Meath, because the one thing that really impressed me was, well, apart from that man in the picture, Murphy, and you talk again about leadership, and like he does so much for them with regard to even the tempo of the game, and his ability to come out from full forward to midfield, and his ability to understand what's actually required at any given moment in the game is unbelievable. Like it really is. It's there can be great teams. And then there can be just good teams with unbelievable individuals in it, and he is one of them. Like he really, really is. Like that league final, when you watch it, Meath annihilated them in the first 20 minutes. Like Donegal guys were looking around, going, "What is actually happening here?"
Crazy.
Like they should have been 12, 13 points ahead, and he started it. He started a revival on his own, pretty much. You know, you could see him. He actually came out, cancelled some guys down, spoke to a few fellas, got on the ball, did the right thing with it, just managed to, they changed the tide, or they turned the tide, and they just managed to get, and next thing, they got their pump back, and they played some serious football for the next 40 minutes. Like if you were to, break that game down, take a 20-minute video, stick it there, and just watch from 20-odd minutes on, they kicked some serious scores, moved the ball really well. McBrearty back is enormous.
Huge.
Because now they have a really, really potent forward line. The young lad, I can't remember him, who kicked, I think, 6 that day in the league final, has been playing really, really well. He's a massive addition. Murphy, obviously. McNeilis is a loss, there's no doubt about it. But I always felt that he was a luxury type player. When you're 2 up, he'll get you 5 up. But if you're 3 down, will he do what Murphy does? No, I don't think so, right? But they've got, McHugh and everything. I just think they are a serious outfit. Now, at the same time, I think Tyrone have developed, and I think they have continued to layer on what they have done over the last number of years. I think the major thing for Tyrone was the ability, and we discussed this obviously through the league, and I think it really helped them with the mark, was how do we find a big option at 14? Like a la Stephen O'Neill, a guy who has the ability to kick scores but also to win ball. Now there's a big difference of, obviously during the league, that you win the ball and you just get your mark and you stick it over. Now you have to do a lot more, win it, turn, get the score. So there's, you can't just have a big man in there, you need someone with football. And I think the Donnelly thing at full forward will be interesting, whether they're going to go with that or switching him in and out. I don't think there's much between them, to be honest with you, Donegal and Tyrone. There really isn't. And I think it'll be a massive arm wrestle this year if they do meet.
Yeah, for sure. Matty Donnelly's named at wing forward in the team for the weekend. Like you can't go with how teams are named. Like as I said, they are playing Derry this weekend. We're not going to preview any of the football this weekend. I don't think many of them are like actual contests we're looking ahead to. But like on the context of Tyrone, Peter Canavan's writing this morning saying it's lazy analysis to say that Tyrone have revolutionised their game plan during the league. That, as you said there, they've just layered on something that they've developed last year that we had actually seen in the All-Ireland final last year.
Correct, exactly. And that's, they had a number of issues over the last number of years. They had an issue at 6 when they were ran at. Remember Donegal ran at them, and Monaghan have ran at them before, where they've just literally come in from the wings and just ran straight at that spine. And they've pulled the 6 out, and generally they've found massive holes in there. They have solidified that now. So they've gone, right, okay, they tried one or two things during the league and then they said, right, so they've stopped that situation. So down the middle now they're very, very secure. And whereas before with Kavanagh, they always had the backstop of him being in behind the 6. So they could allow the 6 really, attack or move out left and right, because they always said, well, he's going to be there, so we're covered. When he left, they obviously needed to sort out a different situation, because they no longer had that safety blanket, and I think now they've developed that. And there has been a subtle difference in the sense of it's less people behind the ball and it's much more, on the front foot. Yes, they come back and they close out positions or they close out areas on the pitch, but their ability to break is fantastic. They're a very counter-attacking team now. But you can counter-attack for so long, it gets extremely tiring, but you also then just need the ability to kick in, and hopefully someone can hold it, win it, and turn and get their own score. And if you have that, well then you're in a great position, because now we don't always have to go. We can just go bang, hit, he looks after it, and then we just get set up again. So I agree with him. They've been layering on, and I think he again has a little bit of an embarrassment of riches, and it's just about, like Donnelly, you would kind of say, has he really got the best out of him in the last number of years? Has he really been shooting the lights out? No, and I think it could be a year for him. I don't know what age he is now, but I'm sure he's probably late 20s. So it's a real time for him to mature and come into it now, and really start to put his stamp on the whole championship.
Yeah, well, Enda McGinley was on Off the Ball last night. He was speaking to the lads, and he was saying that he's quietly confident ahead of this year's Ulster Championship.
Understanding is that confidence is very high in Tyrone right now, and I'll give you a couple of quotes from a former Tyrone player, one of your former teammates. Tyrone are way ahead of Derry at the moment, way ahead. Double scores I can see, no problem. And looking at the Ulster Championship, I fancy Tyrone strongly for Ulster, if I'm being honest. I think they're streets ahead of everybody. To quote Eoin Mulligan.
Okay. Look, I think if you're being completely honest, I think that opinion isn't far off for the first game here against Derry. But the rest of the Ulster Championship, for me, Monaghan's a hard team to judge. We don't really know where they're at. They had a average National League campaign at best, but they've still a serious strong panel there, and maybe Malachy O'Rourke has taken a different approach to them this year and timing their championship run. Donegal, again, playing in Division 2, they weren't under the spotlight as much. They've developed a lot of players. It depends where quite a few of their bigger players in terms of injuries, like McBrearty, depends what form he comes back in. But again, if Donegal get out there strongest 15, they're going to be serious opponents. So Tyrone are definitely, for me, probably the top team in Ulster at the minute. But that doesn't mean you win an Ulster Championship. You have to hit form on the big days.
Enda McGinley there speaking to the lads last night. Would you go along with that?
Yeah, I agree with him. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be Ulster's always tight. But a number of teams have improved. Like even Derry have improved. You know, Derry will give them their fill of it. I honestly think they will. They've been going quietly about their work. The Schlotteniel boys have obviously making a massive difference. I think they've bonded and gelled a bit more. There seems to be less rancour coming out of this. Usually you'd hear loads of stuff coming out of the Derry camp and panel. There seems to be a lot less. Cavan have improved. Armagh have improved. So Fermanagh are thereabouts. They'll always give you what they need to give you. And the Monaghan thing is I just don't know where Monaghan are.
It's hard to judge.
It's hard. It's very hard to judge it. But I think ultimately it's Donegal, Tyrone, and as I say, if they meet, I don't know what the connotations are, but if they meet in an Ulster final, that would be some.
Monaghan, Donegal?
No, Tyrone, Donegal.
Tyrone, Donegal. They're on the same side of the draw, I think. One last thing before we wrap up, the GAA Meath, they're playing Offaly this weekend. What represents a good year from a Meath perspective?
I think Leinster final and, a really, really good showing in it. That's start.
Yeah.
And then I think Super 8s.
What's a good showing? Is it like you hate to put like a margin of defeat on any team?
A good showing is to give one hell of a performance, and to go in and to try to a situation where you're 18 to the /19, 20 players are, and this is not to sound too sports sciencey about it, but they're hitting their optimum. That no one is leaving anything. They're 9s out of 10s. Everyone, and if you can get that. I honestly think that they will push Dublin if it's Dublin in there. Will it be? And I think it will be a hell of a lot closer than it has been.
That's like not too many people have actually said that over the last 2 years, especially that they can actually be confident in their own county, pushing Dublin in Leinster. Like last year, it was a terrible end to Leinster from a Meath perspective. But I think the defeat to Tyrone kind of made us wake up and realise that there is a lot more in this team, and as you say, they seem to be hitting those peaks more consistently, certainly in the spring this year. Consistency is the key to it. Doing it sporadically, 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, that's so they have to get that consistency. They have to get it 50, 55 minutes. It's a very, very hard game they're playing on. It's high energy, high tempo, high press, which absolutely drains you, and especially in Croke Park. So they're going to have to probably, and I think that's part of the Donegal thing, in the sense of when they were doing that for 20 minutes, they blew them out of the water. But when they took the foot off the gas a little bit, Donegal just came through the door flight. So they need to work that out. You've often seen Dublin way to do it. They'll do it, and then they'll just take the foot off the gas, and then they'll do it again, and then they'll take the foot off the gas. And they have just honed that skill over the last number of years. So it's something that they get. I still don't think the panel is deep enough and strong enough. But again, that's something that they need to work on over the next number of years. Yeah, for sure. I would be. The Offaly thing, I think they can get over that. It's always, the usual first round, where are we type thing, where, as a squad. But I think it's on in Navan, which is a big help for them. Yeah, it sure is.